Passion. Why is that relevant, to quote Bruce Lipton? Anna, what's funny about that?
No, it's not funny.
Oh. Well, it is kind of funny.
Vital.
Yes, it's vital. Why? So it's back to Kathy's point. If you're not interested, nobody else is going to be interested. Yes? It's like, nah, 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 nah. So, sharing the interest, again, is it not contagious? And when we get to the format model later today, once you get the format model and once you're passionate about your subject that you want to present about, and you have some skill, you have the structure to put your talk in, you will never have to memorize a talk ever again in your life. Does this sound like this is memorized? None of it's ever come out of my mouth in this way, ever. Why? Because I'm passionate about my topic and I have the skill, I know which bit goes where. When you are passionate about it, isn't it then also true that you will be able to get the most relevant bits out that popped into your head suddenly? Was it useful at all, or was it kind of humorous to tell you about the story with the guy with the music, the new age mumbo jumbo crap? That wasn't planned. It's like, it popped into my head. That's a funny story. Let me tell it. The way I introduced my name. The last thing I want to do is having you associate no ideas with this 6'5" body. But I take the risk anyway, because most people have a bit of a chuckle. Also helps you remember my name, which is important to me, yes? So having the passion gives you more license, doesn't it? It also gives me license to veer off track. I already got your permission for that because I know it's what I do. Those of you that train with me know that's what I do. And the more I beat myself up about it, the more I go, well, that's your style of training, so get used to it. That's what you do. When something happens in this room, and we have the unique opportunity here and now to help tweak something and change something and discuss something and shine some light on something and help some transformation, that is infinitely more important to me than whatever's in the manual. That comes from the passion. That comes from loving the audience, from doing what I can to support you to get what you don't even know you came for. Yes? Turn to the person next to you and go, Dorothy.
I think passion also offers an opportunity, a natural opportunity for other people's energy to be engaged on that level, on an unconscious level. So it opens that door.
How do I write that down? Unconscious engagement? Do you mean?
It's an unconscious invitation for transformation.
Love it. Anything else around passion? This is the thing that will pull you through when everything else is falling apart. This is the thing that will pull you through when it seems like it isn't working. This is the thing that will pull you through when it seems like this will never work. This is the bit that will remind you, persist, 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 because there is really no other option except increasing your dosage or whatever you're on. If you don't know yet what you're passionate about, that's okay. I was 40 when I packed in my corporate career that I was not passionate about, but it paid me extortionate amounts of money to travel the world and do some very cool things in corporate. Who knows how old Mother Teresa was when she started doing her thing? 57. When she went, excuse me. I don't know if she sounded like that, but I can imagine. She went like, excuse me, that's what I want, yes? She didn't take any prisoners, apparently. Anything else around passion? What's the next one? Engaging the audience. Do I not do that in almost every single sentence, like right now? Yes? I'm asking you, some of your heads are nodding. I am engaging you. Is the stuff that I wrote down, did it not come mostly from you? That's engaging the audience. Why wouldn't I do that? Yes, for all the reasons we keep talking about. Engaging the audience. What's the alternative? Well, disengaging, actively disengaging. So if you don't engage the audience, what do you think is the experience of the presenter? In what way?
Because if they're not engaged, I'm just thinking about in a classroom, if they're not engaged, then it's just the time is dragging and it's boring, and or the other, it's like a riot. You just want it to end.
Anybody ever been in that situation? I have. Like, and then it's like, okay, I have to remember my words. When is this done? Why is she looking at me like she, whatever? This is a nightmare. I feel like I can go ready my neck. I'm like, oh, I can't believe that's happening again. And then, isn't it just like, then it's a whole just spiral down to Never Never Land as opposed to, I don't know, La La Land. So boredom is the boredom, or active, as Kathy said, disengagement. So you want to avoid that. Always a good idea. For your sake as a presenter as well as their sake. When the audience is engaged, like I'm engaging most of you, your energy is contributing to the experience. You get it? It's not me having to drag you through treacle to get you somewhere that you don't want to go to. It's you are leading most of the way. A lot of the stuff comes from you. You're engaged, you're thinking, your heads are nodding, you are making some of the writing, you are helping me connect some of the dots. That's why most of the manual is around engaging the audience. Because that is ultimately, I believe, what really makes the difference. When you can start engaging the audience, then they start having more fun, the energy levels are up, they're more engaged, and the whole thing just spirals up. What else can we say about engaging the audience? Energy up, fun up.
If people are engaged, they'll tend to actually pay attention and learn more.
Interesting that. Did I not say that my sole purpose over the next 2 days is to do whatever I can for you to be more connected with being master presenters when you leave? I cannot do that for you, we know that, but when I can do whatever I can to help you engage to the material so that you're curious and want to learn about it, then I have a better chance of actually achieving my aim, which is exactly that. By engaging you, your brain is in a different state. Your brain will be in different brain waves. When you're kind of thinking about, and stuff, and on, your brain starts moving out of beta waves, and you need beta waves to understand information. You do. So if I can keep you engaged and up and about, keep your energy up at a physical level, at an emotional level more engaged, which means you're more engaged with the material, then your brainwaves stay in a different state, and that's a state that I want your brainwaves to be in a state conducive to learning. What was this going to be? Oh, so you're contributing. Your whole audience is contributing to you and your presentation, which makes it a lot easier. Now aren't we just having a conversation? It just happens to be a 1 to 17 conversation, but it's really all there is. I'm just kind of having a chat with you, and I don't know all these things. I don't remember them off by heart. That's why I'm asking you. Yes? I don't have to know it, because there's 17 people in the room with manuals that can tell me. Actually 18, now 19. Hello, Belinda. What's the next one? Is it okay in Queensland to use the BS abbreviation for belief systems? Yes? I believe that we all have BS detectors. Okay, some of us finely tuned. If you know anything about my past, very finely tuned. It had to be as a child to survive. So, even if, and we are going to, when we start working with engaging the audience, we're going to focus a bit on the workings of the unconscious mind. When somebody isn't being authentic, you might look at them and go, something is a bit off there. You might even have the conscious awareness, they're not being authentic, they're just putting that on. Here's the thing, even if you don't consciously, you don't have that conscious thought, if they are not being authentic, something will just kind of feel off. You may not know what it is. You may not know it's because they're not authentic, but something will just feel a little bit off. And the disengagement will happen, the disconnect will happen, and the energy will become heavier and heavier, and it'll be more and more difficult for you as a presenter to pull them through the BS that you keep creating for yourself and for them. Why else is authentic up here? Why do you think that's important as a speaker? Say again, Lou? When you are authentic, the only place that I know to be authentic is in the heart, right? Yes, of course, the head is part of it. It's a whole connected business. But is it not true that when you are in your heart that you are authentic? This is the me with the warts and the all and the stuff. And since as human beings, as opposed to human doings, we connect through the heart. That's how we connect. Whether we want to or not, that is the mechanism of connecting. That's why for some people it's very hard to connect. Because they were taught as children it's not safe to connect through the heart. I have to protect myself. I have to, whatever. So I'm also sometimes one of those people. So that's why I know a lot of stuff. Because that's my way of connecting sometimes is through the information first. Until I say, oh no, okay, I can. And that's when, people say, my heart just open to someone. Phew, the real authentic bit here. So connecting, why else? Ah, that's interesting. Say more.
So if you're not authentic, then the audience is going to pick up on that and you won't be respectful. You can only pull it off as well.
When somebody is not being authentic, are you not starting to wonder what their real agenda is here?
What do they want?
What do they want from me? Manipulating, like why else would somebody not really be authentic? Trust comes in for sure. Now, you know, there are of course degrees of this. Like if I were to break down in tears now telling you my whole sob life story and my biggest dramas and traumas, it's like, okay, that's kind of sweet, but it's not really why I came. Yes, some of you would be thinking, yes, we have to pay you to do your therapy in front of us. So there is the, you know, the line. But for the most, I'll tell you stories about me. I'll tell you whatever comes into my head that seems appropriate to forward the training in the best way that I can. What's the next one? This is pretty much the be-all and the end-all. If you can connect with your audience, then you can almost say the job is done. Because then all the other things happen. When the audience is connected and the audience starts contributing to the energy of the conversation, then it just becomes a conversation, your energy levels stay up, they contribute the energy to the whole thing, you feel more confident. When you feel more confident, you're likely to have more fun and to be more authentic and to connect more and engage more, and the whole thing just goes all up in the right direction. Before you know it, 12 hours are gone and they go, what just happened? In the end, when people feel good about themselves, that's when they'll remember your training for the right reasons. It's okay if they feel good about you, but understand that the only way that I can ever help you to feel better about yourself is if I really connect with you. And then help you to connect with those parts of you that's going to help you to feel good about yourself. Understand that? I can't make you feel good. But I have an ability to see the bits that's missing inside your own psyche or inside the way you've set up yourself in life. What's getting in the way of you feeling good about yourself? That I'm good at. And when I can connect with you and connect with those bits and help you connect those dots, then you feel good about yourself without thinking that I did anything. Does that make sense? Because why is that important? Why is it important that you leave here feeling good about yourself without me being part of that equation?
Empowering.
It's empowering for you, as opposed to, oh, well, I need him to feel good about myself. Do you get it? That's why occasionally it will be uncomfortable. Because many of us have been conditioned that's so comfortable not feeling good about ourselves. And that's what 99% of the pharmaceutical industry is based on. And let's not rubbish them. They never pretend to be charities. And they've saved my life and the life of my family. I've got nothing against medication. I'm just saying, instead of long-term numbing the pain, the answer is I found that you start connecting with your passion and start expressing yourself in the world in the way that you'd love to, even if you don't know what that is yet. When you listen to everything I say the same thing in as many ways as I can. What do we say about connect? What goes on the board? Energy up, yes. Engagement up.
Do you have to find how the audience are when you come in? If you're doing some sort of presentation, so depending on what external factors are going on? I don't know.
So we are going to talk about that. There's two answers. Kathy's question is, when you go into a presentation, do you need to kind of find out where the audience is? There's a yes and a no. We're going to cover both in the course. The one is if there was something that is like an elephant in the room that's upsetting everybody, how to deal with that. And the example I came up with in the Cape Town one, which most people in the corporate world, like I was really resonated with, was corporate parking. Okay, that's typically like, if you take away people's parking, people get ballistic. So in terms of meeting people where they're at, if you know there is something common in the room that is upsetting people, if there are layoffs or retrenchments pending, like it's important you bring that into the room. And the other one is when you follow the engagement steps that I'm going to teach you step by step, to some extent, unless there's something big in the room, it doesn't really matter where people are. You all came from different places, right? So most of you don't know each other, different journeys. Some of you stay close, some of you had to fly in, some of you drove in, have life stories, whatever. So to try and find a common element is hard for a presenter to do. that's why when we go through the steps this afternoon about how to engage, I'm going to remind you of how I greeted you this morning. You're going to, oh yeah, he did do that. In a way, to wherever people are, to gently take them on the journey with you. So there's a yes and a no.
And is it fair to say, though, that whether you're doing a presentation, as in talking to a mass audience or doing a presentation to a few people, my experience is generally they're closed off, so you have to be authentic and open your heart, which is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you have to be that beacon so that other people feel comfortable with that, and then they're happy to open themselves up.
So that's great if you're in the space to do that. If you are grounded and present and authentic and real and confident, all those things inside yourself. But sometimes as speakers we're not. Sometimes I'm not. I'm like, ooh, suddenly something throws me. Like the Cape Town event, I underestimated the amount of time needed to set up the venue. So I was still running around moving chairs when the first people arrived. So I was completely off balance when we started. I wasn't like, hello. I just followed the steps anyway. And as I followed the steps and the audience started responding, then all the stuff started engaging in me. So, oh, okay, they're responding. It's okay. Nobody's upset. Nobody's walking out. You know, it's fine. So then I was able, what I said earlier. So sometimes I believe as speakers we do get thrown unexpected things, and then it's when we engage with this, when you have the skill to just follow the steps, it helps us to bounce back quicker and quicker. So yes, if you can be in that space from the beginning, good. If you can't be because somebody threw you a curveball or whatever, follow the steps anyway. And then together with the audience, ting, 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 before you know it, you'll be reconnected or connected. And what's the last one? That's not the last one. Original. Why do you think that's important? Who cares?
It can't be anything else.
Well, I try to be little Dwayne. Or Big Dwayne, he's smaller than me. Yeah, I try to be Big Dwayne. Why do you think it's helpful to be original?
You come across as sincere if you're not.
So, okay, so you can come across as more sincere when you're original? Ah, it's fresh and interesting. When was the last time you sat on the carpet with crayons? My guess is if that's the only thing you remember, which hopefully it won't be, you're like, oh yeah, we did that thing. Especially those of you that could be bothered to 3 years from now look at your manual and then be surprised by how much of the stuff you drew has actually happened without you even noticing it happen. And then you'll send me the emails that I love more than anything else. You won't believe what happened, but yes, I will, tell me anyway. So it was, Lou, what did you say? It was more?
More interesting and fresh.
Interesting and fresh. Last night, we're going to talk about preparing the venue. Last night, Belinda and I came here to have a look at the venue, and the venue is usually used, the presenter stands there. It's like, no, I don't like it. Television's in my way. I don't use PowerPoint, so I want it to be this way. We moved the whole room around, moved all the stuff out, because I don't want it in here, for reasons I will explain to you a bit later. Kind of self-explanatory. And when you're more original, aren't you having more fun because you be you? And when you're more you, aren't you more authentic and real? And then your confidence levels goes up, and then it's more connected. And then the energy of the audience, you know, it's kind of all the same stuff. What else?
What's coming to me to connect in the original is just when people trust and they're safe, there's just more creativity, and it becomes more inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Cape Town course said, she says, oh, I get it. She goes, it's about moving from making speeches to presenting. You get it? That's when everything starts changing. And again, I don't care if you're doing the most serious corporate stuff or working with teenagers. The principles are all the same. Why? Because hopefully you're presenting to human beings. You might not think they are, but they probably are, unless it's like a machine. And because we're human beings, we all respond unconsciously to these things. We just do. What's the next one? Hey? Confidence. Why? Because it changes everything. Yes? There's even a song written about that, right? Changes everything. Lord, love changes everything. Now, here's an important proviso. If you are going to wait until you're utterly confident before you go out and speak, it might be a long time coming. Be willing to go through the discomfort of being awkward. And listen, when I think of some of my earlier client sessions, it's like, I made them pay for that. You know, I can't believe I did that. But how else was I supposed to know what I know now? Same with presentations. I have done things that I now go, oh, I hope nobody remembers that. But how else are we supposed to learn? You see, the difference with me and a lot of other people, I was willing to go through the discomfort. I was willing to go through the negative feedback. I'm going to ask you all to fill out feedback forms tomorrow. I've always done that with all my courses. Sometimes the feedback, the very first course I ever ran was in Kingston in the UK. The feedback unanimously from the 7 or 8 participants is breaks. I forgot about the breaks. I was so passionate and excited. We just went on. People were like starving and drooling and stuff. And I was like, next page. And we're like, can we just have breaks? I'm like, oh. So that's why you have breaks today. We will soon. Because it changes everything. And again, you know, can you see how this, when you are more confident, it affects everything else that we spoke about? The fun, the engagement, the authenticity, the connection, the energy, everything goes into the levels of confidence. Allows you to be more yourself. Why? Because you're confident, this is who I am. Does not mean that I know everything, nor that I need to know everything. But I know enough to give me the credibility and the right to stand here for now, not pretending to know everything, but also not downplaying what I do know and experiences I have had, and owning that I do think I have something to teach. Last one, right? Kay. I also grew up with a saying about knowledge is power. And then somebody recently I read, she said knowledge is only power if it's accurate knowledge. I don't actually agree with that. I think knowledge can be power either way. You know, misinformation is also used to control people and all sorts of stuff. Why do you think it is important for a speaker to have knowledge? Lee? Oh, your mouth was wide open. I thought, and you weren't yawning. Or jaw dropping.
If you know what you're talking about, it shows.
It kind of helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
It comes back to passion. Which comes back to passion.
How does it?
Confidence. It's all passion.
Did you get it? So when you're passionate about something, is it not true that you want to find out more and more about it? Why do you think I keep listening to seminars and audios and buy books and read stuff and speak to people and attend other people's courses? Because I'm passionate about the topic. I want more information. I want more knowledge so that I can teach from a broader place. So passion is connected in here for sure. Leith, what was the thing that you said?
You know what you're talking about.
It helps.
Yeah. You just blabber, you know, and then people will know that you don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it feeds the confidence.
Yes, I agree. And you know, maybe like me also, you have found yourself like waffling, and you know you're waffling, and you know that they know that you're waffling, and I know that they know that they know that they're right? And it's kind of as endless, like, get me out of here, please, can this be over now?
Adds value as well. Adds value.
Well, there is that, eh? It adds value. And here's the one thing that I suggest you do. See how much value you can add right from the start. Get out, if you have a mindset of leaving your best for last, see what happens when you flip it the other way around. Give your best stuff out first. What you're going to get from me, there will be some times where I say we do need to move on because we have a syllabus to get through. So from that sense, I might be holding some things back. I will tell you. We don't have time to talk about it, or come to the advanced course in September. I'll tell you about it then. But for the most, I will share with you everything that I know in the moment here, and I'll give you a best. Why wouldn't I? When you leave here believing that you got more value from me than you paid for, what is the odds you'll do business with me again? Come to my next course. Good or good? For sure. As opposed to, nah, it's always like trying to get something out of him, and you know, he's like, no, he's all guarded about his stuff. That's not a way to necessarily inspire people. Okay. So everybody, take a nice deep breath in and out. Stretch the arms.